The major reason people fail interviews is not because they are not competent, it is more as a result of lack of preparation. When you say that if you fail to plan, then you're obviously planning to fail. Same could be applicable to the aspect of interviews. When you talk about interviews, you should be able to plan ahead. What are the things that you basically need to know about that particular company? Who are the people you need to know that possibly will be interviewing in that company? What is the company's product and services all about? There is a recipe to interview success. You prepare, you position yourself, you present yourself, and ultimately success shall chase you hands down. So when you prepare, basically, you need to know your story. What is it that you're bringing to this particular company? What have you done? What are you doing? What do you intend to do? How does that company align with that same thing that you want to do? And then translate all of this into the role. Then we'll talk about positioning, aligning your experiences to the company's needs. How have your experiences relating to problem solving in times past position you once occupied? What were some of those peculiar challenges you faced? What were your approach as regards solving those problems? And how were you able to become somebody that is quite resourceful for the organization? And when you are speaking about this, you need to come outside like somebody who is very confident, and then you have control of the case. This is where presence comes in. You need to project confidence to ensure that everything that you are saying is sounding credible. And it's not just a matter of what you say, it's how you say it. How you say it portrays to the interviewer to know if what you are saying is credible or not, or you really believe in yourself. From a personal perspective, one of the things I look out for candidates who come to interview with me, the moment you are able to speak clearly, eloquently, articulate what you've done, you stand a better chance of having more than 50% pass mark. Why? Because I know for a fact that you are not just speaking, you are owning up, you are sounding confidently. Common interview questions you get asked. Tell me about yourself. Why should we hire you? Describe the conflict and how you handled it. Let's start from the first. The approach of telling me about yourself is to tell us currently what you are doing, what you've done in the past, and what you will do in the future, what you intend on doing. The present, past, and future approach. As you can see, the examples are there. I am a customer care officer. That is what you are now in company XYZ. I supported service escalation. There were certain problems, or part of your responsibility was to escalate issues to the right departments, and those departments will basically be the one to solve those issues. That is in time past. Now you are looking forward to fit into a particular industry. Now you are used to solving problems, maybe in let's say in a banking and financial institution, for instance, and then you want to move into maybe a fintech company. When you are moving to that fintech company, you are saying that in times past you were able to solve problems for people, and you intend on transitioning it into tech certain company and say, okay, I use the likes of CRM tools. I've been reading some things about some tech related issues as regards company XYZ. And sometimes if you're lucky, when you're giving interview invitation, there is what we refer to as a job description. Those information as regards that particular vacancy, use it to your advantage and speak to the one that makes you the ideal candidate for that particular role and sell yourself. So again, use the present, past, future approach to talk about tell me about yourself. Now, why should we hire you? Value pitching. You need to be able to sell yourself and ensure that you are portraying value. And how you portray that value is by telling them what you've done in the past and how you're able to solve a certain problem. Something, for instance, I have a particular ability to solve customer issues. And because of the fact that I listen to customer complaints, I was able to resolve 98% of their complaints in times past, and they brought about 25% reduction in churn. And lastly, describe a conflict and how you handled it. There's what we refer to as the STAR method. In the next page, you get to understand basically. So, while leading NYC CDS in Enugu, two teams had disputes and you mediated them to create harmony within a certain period, in this case 24 hours. Sometimes you only have one shot, but you have to be able to sell yourself. Again, use storytelling to your advantage. Make sure that your story sells and then the fact tells itself. Body language and first impression. There is a study.
Interview hacks.
Body language and first impression. There is a study according to the Princeton University. It takes an average of 7 seconds to make a lasting impression. That's why some people will say that you can never have a second chance to make a you can never have a second chance to make a first impression. So you only have that one chance. But within that 7 seconds, the interviewer will determine if at all you're a fit or not a fit. And what are those things I basically look out for in your interview? Eye contact. Based on my personal experiences, I find out that when I'm interviewing candidates physically, a lot of them find it difficult to basically maintain eye contact. I really don't know why. But if you have that problem and that's part of the problem, one approach I would give you, practice with your mirror and see that, yes, you can engage yourself. So if you cannot make eye contact with yourself, then there is a problem. But when you can, practice it and look at that person you are seeing in the mirror as the person that is your interviewer. When you keep practicing doing that thing, what we refer to as mock interview, you tend to find that the more you practice it, the more it becomes second nature to you. So everything that you're basically doing, everything that you're selling, everything you're expressing becomes second nature to you. Eye contact does not mean you need to be staring at the interviewer, like looking the person down. Make eye contact. And it could be 4 or 5 people in your panel. Make eye contact with each and every one of them to ensure that you are engaging them, they are following what you're saying personally. Again, your posture matters also as much as what you're saying. So when you have a very confident posture, you are sitting straight, you're not slouching. So that will translate that you are poised in nature. Smile. So tell a lot about a person just by the handshake. Handshake is an indicator of your level of confidence. So make sure that the handshake is firm. Does not mean you should break somebody's hand. Speak with a form of authority and not anxiety. Do not be anxious. Speak as if you own the room. You are giving them the opportunity to hear from you because you are the author of your own story. So make sure that that story is credible and well enough. But when you start sounding unsure of yourself, they can tell that, okay, this person does not really seem certain, and everything that the person is basically saying seems a bit falsifiable. So speak with conviction, speak with authority, speak with confidence. Look at the camera, not the screen. Sometimes some people, when you're having an interview, you tend to look as if they're looking downwards. So you need to look at the camera, not the screen. And then when you are speaking, avoid the use of filler words. As in, it's like, just yesterday I had a candidate that we had an interview, and I found out that a lot of the things relating to that interview, I couldn't understand, I couldn't relate with what the candidate was trying to say to me because filler words filled more than 90% of what we're saying in that interview. So when you are speaking, you need to have a form of consciousness as regards what you're doing. That's where the mock interview will help you understand the things that you are not even aware that you do. Answer some of these things. After the end of the interview, you see interviewers ask, do you have any questions for me? Please try to have questions. Not just anyhow questions, but thoughtful questions. What is success like for you in this role? What's the definition of success for this role? How would you determine if I'm successful for this particular role or not? What are your expectations from me in the next 3 to 6 months? Okay. I also saw that the company just created a new arm of business called facility management, ground handling. How do you intend to translate those new departments to ensure that they become more of revenue generation to the company? How do you see myself fitting in to that system as a facility manager? These are questions that will make the interviewer see you like somebody who is very intentional about your reasons for joining. You need to let them know that there is a particular interest you have in that particular role. And lastly, close strong. Make sure you thank them for the opportunity they've given to you. Express confidence in your skills. Do not doubt yourself. The fact that you were given the opportunity to come to an interview is one step closer, one step being sure that what you have, no other person has it, because only 2% of people who apply for a particular role gets called for interview. Okay. It's very simple. That's why I said sometimes you practice it, or you're going to ask the interviewer.
What to do when you don't know the answer to a question?
It's very simple. That's why I said sometimes you practice it, or you're going to ask the interviewer, can I get back to you on that question? Like they know for a fact that okay, you because sometimes you cannot always have the answer. That's just the honest truth. Sometimes you might be lucky everything you are being asked is something you know, but sometimes you don't have the answer. You can only ask for a way, but you get back to that particular question. And when you are answering other questions, you are indirectly still thinking of answers to that problem. And when you go back, sometimes you can get it and you may not get it. If you do not get it, that's where the follow-up email comes in saying, oh, something about XYZ question. This is what I will be able to do, because sometimes it's not always answer that has already been predetermined. It's answer that you have to probably think scenario based, experience based, or something. So do not let that one deter you at all, because sometimes you may not have those answers, but when you do have the answer, just try to always use intentional pause. Be calm. Think of it as if you are having a yoga session, trying to relax, and then you answer. You don't shake a person sitting down. You stand to shake a person. That's the only way you show that you respect.
Should I extend a handshake first?
You don't shake a person sitting down. You stand to shake a person. That's the only way you show that you respect that person's time and everything relating to about you. You don't shake anybody's hand while seated. So always make sure you stand to make the handshake. Please note that I'm always like the first to extend, and you know why? It shows that I'm confident in myself. I'm speaking politely. I'm smiling. Good morning, pleasure meeting you, Amaka. Good morning, pleasure meeting you, Francis. Good morning, pleasure meeting you, Shay. Good morning, pleasure meeting you, Kere. May I or can I? Sometimes they will even offer you. It's not as if you need to ask. Most of the time, you'll be offered a seat. Please have a seat. That's part of the reason you're having this session now. If you start putting the various...
Should I include all my experiences in my CV or leave it as role
That's part of the
specific?
reason you're having this session now. If you start putting the various positions that you work, it shows a form of lack of coordination. And lack of coordination does not make me know if you are suitable for a particular role or not suitable. Because I'm looking out for a certain thing. I'm looking out for certain concepts, certain keywords. And then I'm seeing sales, I'm seeing accounting, I'm seeing front-end development. I don't know the direction to go and consider you at that point. That's why we have in your resume tailoring. There's what we refer to as tailor your CV. So you have an accounting background, you've worked in sales, you want to transition into HR. Now, you are not saying that in that part called your career summary, there's a way you will capture it that what are those things that speak specifically to that line of work that you're saying. Take, for instance, you want to speak as an accountant. There are certain concepts that I look out for, like financial modeling, bank reconciliation, account receivables, accounts payables. I already know you are speaking as an accountant, and then you're talking about HR. I'm talking about maybe aspect of maybe employee relations, talent acquisition, conflict resolution, performance management. Those are certain concepts that relate to each of those roles. So when you tailor those CVs, you channel it in line. What have you done? What are you doing? What do you intend to do? Just like you take a suit or whatever clothes you take to a tailor. Sometimes you buy those clothes, they are not fitted into your own size. So what you do, you take it for slim fitting and then you measure it to make sure it fits your own size. Same principle applies to your CV. When you want to apply for that role, let that CV speak in the direction of that particular vacancy you are doing. So if you do not have whatsoever experience in that particular role, speak about maybe aspect of volunteering that you want volunteered for a particular role similar to that role that you are doing. Volunteering experience is just as, it's almost as important. It's just the same level of importance as professional experiences in most cases. So when you do that, it also let us know that you are also aligning regarding to that. So again, so I do not lose train of that thought, tailor your CV to the particular role that you are interested in. Thank you very much. Sometimes from the moment you are given that interview, check, was the job description attached? If the job description was attached, was the necessary information put there? If the necessary information put there in terms of the salary that they are willing to pay, 90% of the time they are not willing to change, because that's the budget that is approved for that particular role. Now, if you choose to go into that interview and then you want to try to negotiate when you go, just know that you are moving in the direction that you are negotiating at your own risk, because interview is risky. You may or you may not get it. There are some cases whereby interviewers are very rigid as regards that budget they've set. But then you come in there and then you wow them beyond their expectation. And then they ask you that question and then you pitch it out to them. They may be willing to make some compromise and then be flexible a little bit to meet some of your demand. That's fine. But if in the event when the salary was not stated and then you are going into that interview, it is a simple research on Glassdoor pay scale on what the industry best standards relating to that particular role with the years of experience will determine what is achievable, the ranges you can give, and then you can negotiate within those ranges what you are willing to accept. Is that if the salary is something that you can work with, but do not try as much as possible to go into salaries that are unrealistic, because make that research and then translate it as regards what the industry benchmark is as regards that role with the years of experience basically and the industry. We've come to the end of the session. So again, just make sure you put your interest in the chat box and then we'll reach out to the first 15 people to offer our professional CV revamp services to. And then the link as regards to joining the job vacancy, I believe, has been shared or will be shared to you accordingly. Thank you very much. I remain Ujiro Ofidhe.